When I heard about gardening for mental health and that whole, like, I always thought it was a case of using your hands and
Exactly.
keeping yourself busy, and that is of course an aspect
Mhm.
to it, but the fact that there's like the microbes that are actually, like, there's physical, like, scientific reactions
Oh yeah.
happening to improve our mental and physical health, that is such useful knowledge.
Yes.
It's not just the calming effect like reading a book or whatever. No, it's an actual medical improvement in a
Oh
way.
yeah.
So that is so,
And
and I'd say being out
there's
in
a
the
whole
sun.
series of benefits that is mind blowing. If you
Yeah.
start studying like blue zones, have you heard of the blue zones of the world?
Yes,
People
yes.
are like centenarians, people that live well over 100 years, and they they have like the highest density of people that are over 100 years old. And they start to investigate how does it come. And one essential part of it is gardening and community, celebrating
Community.
community
Yeah.
and gardening is essential in that way.
Wow. And I guess gardening probably cultivates a lot of community too, because you need a little bit of help sometimes.
Exactly. That's what I teach in my class. When it's planting day
Yeah.
and you have all your plants, you call up your friends and you make them excited about this project that you're doing, and you help them dig in all the plants.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, well, let's talk about somebody who doesn't have a garden. Let's talk about somebody with an apartment. Maybe they have a balcony, but they somebody who considers themselves as out of the running. They can't do anything. They can't garden. What would you recommend for them if they wanted to feel these
Yeah,
benefits?
that's another great question, because it's true that I think on a global scale, most people do live in urban environments that don't necessarily have
Exactly.
direct access to greenery. So, what I would then suggest to source your food, I would start looking at, like what I always tell people to do, because I'm from a farming family, is that you Google regenerative farm or regenerative farming, and then you add the area where you are, and you do some
Okay.
research and try and find a local farmer that's doing regenerative farming, because it's similar to the garden industry. There's another industry in the food production industry that's even far more chemical on a big scale, right? That is
Okay.
devastating our soils and creating chemical, like most of the food that we eat, processed or even what fresh vegetables that you find in
Yeah.
the supermarket are full of chemicals. So there's this
Wow.
new movement called, well, it's not new because nature has been doing it for a long time, but it's gaining a lot of momentum at the moment, and it's called regenerative farming.
Okay.
So Google that, find a farm, go and talk to the farmer, buy their produce, and so you're supporting them. And the side effect is also that it's going to help reverse climate change, because when you do regenerative farming, you actually sequester carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and put it into the soil. So even if you have a garden and you don't per se want to grow your own food, you want to have flowers like my mother does. She's
Yeah.
selling flowers for events and stuff. She doesn't want to grow vegetables, so we source our veggies from another local farmer that we trust and we
Yeah.
know he's not using any chemicals. And then you that food that you'll get from that farmer, that's also full of those beneficial microorganisms, and you're eating that, and that changes the whole game as well. And then if you still live in an apartment, I would suggest just get out into nature, like
Hmm.
go in the weekends, go spend time in nature. Like there's somebody in our family said there's always like, it's actually more related to gardening, but you can apply it also on nature. Is that when you have a problem in your life, go and spend some time in your garden, work in your garden, or go hiking into nature, and you'll get all your
Okay.
answers.
That's so true. And I would say as well, there's likely community plots. Isn't that a big
Exactly. It was
thing?
actually
Yeah.
you're reading my mind here. So I was gonna say, when you really live in an apartment but you do want to get your hands dirty, connect with local community gardens. That there are lots of fun. People have lots of knowledge there, and you can, yeah, even on a small size plot you can start growing your first radishes.
Yeah. And how do you feel about houseplants? Are you a houseplant person?
Oh, I do have a few houseplants. I love them, but I don't have deep knowledge about them. But still, I apply the same
Mm.
principles that I would do outdoors. And it's funny that you ask, because I've just been in contact with a company that's called On It Sciences, like on it, like you spray it on
Okay.
it, and they have developed a natural product, and it's still early news actually, because they're not yet very public, and it's a certain organic spray that you put on your plants, and it has a
Okay.
bunch of stuff that stimulate your plants to grow. And I've been testing them on my house plants, and your plants go like they double. Well, they double in size in a week, but even after you start putting it into the soil with your watering, in 24 hours you see like your plants are growing
Oh,
fast.
wow.
It's pure
Oh, that's
natural
very
nature
cool.
based stuff, so I'm excited
I
about
love
it.
that. Yeah, absolutely. And okay, so let's take our person in an apartment. I'm actually thinking about our editor on the show here because I told him that you were coming on the show. We had somebody, he loves plants.
Yes.
He has an apartment and he has a bunch of house
Oh,
plants
yes.
and they're beautiful. And every weekend he does the whole bring them outside, water them, give them their sun. And he said you need to ask him, how can I grow vegetables?
Oh,
I want to
yes.
eat vegetables that I've grown, but I know that I can't, bring them out once a week.
Yes.
So how would he do that with, let's say, a small balcony? Is that
Oh,
possible?
yeah.
And which plants would you say or vegetables would you say are possible to grow in that
Yes,
scenario?
that's another really good question. So what I would suggest is you research tower garden. So there's this.
Okay.
It's actually a hydroponic system, so you don't necessarily need soil. So even if you don't want to get your hands
Oh,
dirty, it's like a tower, and you put all the nutrients in it, and it's a water cycle that keeps running. And because it's continuously running the water, it gives the plants all the nutrients that they need. And you can put it even in a small
wow.
apartment. You can even put it in a basement and add some. Some have like a LED setup. And actually, one of my clients.
Okay.
So if you want to know more about it, reach out to me, and I'll put you in contact with one of my
Mm-hmm.
clients, because she's doing that in the US.
Amazing. And what is, give me the easiest plant to grow for a beginner? I'm totally new. I'm going to do it.
In a tower,
What would you
or
say?
in general?
In
Oh,
general,
the
in a little,
radishes.
I've got a pot and some soil, radish straight away.
Radish, and there's some turnips that are family of the radish, super easy to grow. And then I think if you want to go a little bit further than like super easy, like zucchinis. What is that in English? We call them
Oh, I
zucchini.
think they call them courgettes. So
Yes,
no, I think
courgette.
I call them courgettes and then they call them zucchinis in
Ah,
America.
you do call them zucchinis, right?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
they're easy, super easy to grow.
Okay.
Stick a
And do they take long to grow?
well, you plant them in springtime, depending where you are in the world, of course.
Mm.
3 months later, you have your first courgette zucchini.
Hey everyone, Chelsea here. I would love to take a moment to introduce you to our app, Yoga Plus. You will gain access to an incredible collection of videos led by top instructors in yoga, fitness, nutrition, and so much more. Download our Yoga Plus app today and get a free 14-day trial.